If your hinges don't feel too great, try implementing this quick tip and thank me later. What's up guys, Enkiri here, and today I just want to give you guys a quick little tip to hopefully help make your hinges better. So something I've started doing myself recently is incorporating a slight heel wedge underneath of my heels, elevating my heels a little bit when I do things like good mornings or Romanian deadlifts. Here you can see I'm using the slant board by the Tib Bar guy in some of these lifting clips as my heel wedge, as my means of elevating my heels. But you could also wear a pair of heeled weightlifting shoes to accomplish the same effect, or you could simply stand with your heels elevated on a pair of 5 or 10 pound weight plates. Now this little tip probably sounds somewhat counterintuitive to a lot of you. Ever since I started doing it, people have been seeing clips of me lifting like this with my heels elevated on my hinges, and I've gotten so many DMs and comments from people asking me why the heck I'm doing that. Because again, it sounds counterintuitive on the surface because the typical lore surrounding exercises like this is that you want to keep your feet planted flat on the floor. However, I've found that in my own case, as well as some of my clients so far, that elevating the heels while hinging actually drastically improves the hinge pattern. Now, it doesn't work for everybody, so some of you may find that it actually makes it feel weird, or some of you may find that it doesn't change anything at all. So the only way for you to know for sure for you is to give it a try, but it is definitely worth a shot, especially if you feel that your hinges have been lacking, because the improvement can actually be pretty dramatic, and I will explain why in just a minute. So basically what you're doing by elevating the heel is you're artificially increasing the amount of ankle dorsiflexion that is available. Now we all know that this can be a helpful thing during squats because it can allow the knees to travel farther forward. That can allow the torso to stay more upright as you move into a deep squat position, which for a lot of people can help create a smoother squat pattern that lets them keep greater tension on the quads. Now, there isn't really any dorsiflexion going on during a properly executed hinge, though. So why would creating more dorsiflexion capability be a helpful thing? Well, if we look at the anatomy of the gastroc muscle, the main calf muscle on the back of your lower leg there, we see it actually originates or begins above the knee joint at the bottom of the femur, and then it runs all the way down to the Achilles tendon at the backside of the ankle where it inserts. So by elevating the heel, we are creating slack in the gastroc muscle via its insertion point. This slack makes it so that when you begin hinging, it becomes much less likely that the calf muscles will become fully taut and reach their maximal range of motion before the hamstring muscles. Now, I personally have no desire for my calves to be a limiting factor in how hard that I'm able to work my hamstrings. We all know that more range of motion is a better stimulus for strength and hypertrophy and for building mobility, right? And I want to build a supple, strong, and big posterior chain, big, meaty hamstrings, right? So once I tried this little tweak and felt the difference for myself, I haven't really looked back. It's made such a profound and positive impact on my hinges. I feel like I'm really able to hone in on the glutes and the hamstrings with good mornings and RDLs to a much greater extent than I've ever been able to do in the past. So I see no reason for me to go back to performing flat-footed hinges, at least not for the foreseeable future, right? Now, whether you find that this little tip benefits you or not probably comes down mostly to individual anthropometry as well as relative degrees of joint freedom, right? So I'm not saying here that I have stiff ankles. I'm just saying that relative to each other, by freeing up the ankle, I'm able to get more work out of the hamstring. So your mileage may vary, but it is a massive boost for me. So I recommend giving it a shot. if you feel that your hinges are lacking. And another benefit here that probably really helps you to crank these exercises up to the next level with this little tweak is in regards to balance. So in the past, I have shoved my butt back behind me so far while hinging that I simply fell over backwards because I pushed my weight back too far and I lost my balance, really just trying to hone in on the glutes and hamstrings, right? Now, this lack of balance has caused me to become hesitant sometimes in terms of the aggressiveness, the level of aggressiveness that I apply to my hinging. But with a heel wedge, this issue becomes pretty much non-existent because now you're free to basically push your butt back behind you as far as you want, and your balance is always going to be maintained because of the wedges underneath of your heels, right? It gives you something to lean into as you push your weight back, which means that you're much less likely to end up tumbling backwards. I personally feel like I'm able to push my weight back much further, really lean into and dig into the posterior chain there in a way that I haven't been able to do in the past with my hinges. And I feel like that has really cranked up the posterior chain training effect that I'm getting, really taken it to the next level. And in general, it just, for me, makes the hinging pattern feel much smoother overall and much more productive because of that. Anyway, it's all I got for today, guys. I hope this little tip helps you to get the most out of your hinges. Like I said, it's not going to be for everybody. But if you do feel that your hinge pattern is lacking in some way, this may be just a trick that you need to take it to the next level. So please remember to smash the like button before you go. Leave me some love in the comments down below. And check out EnkiriEliteFitness.com for online coaching and training programs. Keep training hard. I will catch you guys next time.